Like, how do you market a business that's not even open yet? So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I'm really excited to get into it with you. So let's assume you've already had a business idea. You already know what you want to do. You already have the website set up. You already have the social media handles. You've, set up all of the things that you need to set up. But now you're kind of waiting because your opening day is maybe a week out. Maybe it's 6 months out. And there is this interesting time when your business isn't open, but it's important to start letting people know that it exists. But how do you do that? How do you market a business that isn't even open yet? Because I know that you're excited and you're anxious and you want to make sure that you're not missing anything, even if your doors aren't technically open yet. One of the most important things you can do before your business is open is really build awareness part, right? Because that's where your audience is going to come from. That's where those raving fans are going to come from, even if they don't know they're going to be raving fans yet. You have to talk about your business to get that interest, because not only does this help in the short run, it also helps you build long-time customers that will want to come back over and over. And especially once you're open, and they'll want to share it with other people because they're excited, because they followed you on the journey and they've been a part of it from the beginning. So first of all, think about where your audience is. Where are they really hanging out? Some of this we can determine by demographic information. We know that, some generations spend more time on one platform and some spend more time on another platform. It's also what your business is and how the people who want content and information about your business, where are they going to be hanging out? If, for example, you anticipate all of your clients coming from LinkedIn in a very traditional business kind of way, then TikTok may not be the answer for you. But on the other hand, if you have a food business or a really cool, quirky, unique business that has really cool things in it, TikTok may be a better option for you than LinkedIn. It's just going to depend on your business and also your goals, but most importantly, where your people are hanging out. So a little bit of differences between a brick and mortar business, meaning you have a physical location, and something that's more online, because if you have a local brick and mortar business, it's going to be a really good idea for you to start connecting with other businesses so that you can build camaraderie, so that you can build a referral network, and so that they can tell their people about you and so that you can learn more about their businesses if you're new to the area or you haven't done that yet. So how do you show up and meet other local business owners? Chamber of Commerce is going to probably be a good idea. If there's a BNI in your area and that fits with what your business is, maybe think about being a guest there. But one of the best things that you can do is go and introduce yourself to the businesses that are going to be around your business. One, so they know that who's coming, who's going to be in their space or in their neighborhood. But then you get to learn more about their business and they get to learn more about your business. So you can build community and connection. And that is such an important piece, especially as a business if you're just starting out. You can also take this opportunity to look for ways to cross promote, meaning they promote something of yours and you promote something of theirs. Co-promotion, looking for sponsorships, all of those kinds of things is a way to get your name out into the community. It's going to be really important if you're a local business. And if you actually have a brick and mortar business and maybe it's not open yet, maybe there's some renovation happening inside or you don't have that ability to open your doors yet, you can put some notices on your window so that people coming by can see what's coming. You can put a QR code that either takes them to sign up for your email list or takes them to your website, ideally your email list. That way you're getting their emails and you can let them know when you're actually open. What do you do beyond pounding the pavement and shaking hands and knocking on doors? Social media is really great for this. Social media is an amazing way to build awareness within your local community so that people know what's coming. And you can also get a little bit more personality. You can share what's going on. You can take people along the journey as you do your build out or as you get ready to open, because people will feel more invested in supporting you if they've been with you along the way. As you do this, you'll be connecting with your audience members, your potential customers, because they'll be able to see what you're doing. You'll be able to ask questions. You'll be able to let your business personality come out in a really fun way. And trust me, if you're doing any kind of build out, any kind of renovation in a space, getting a new sink or, painting another wall or cleaning up yet another gross thing that somebody left behind is not necessarily exciting. But when you document it, like I said, you're building your story. You are taking people who are interested in what you're doing along for the journey. You're letting them get behind the scenes and they are going to be more invested in what you're doing. Plus, you will have this documentation for the future, which is a really cool thing for future anniversaries. Okay, so I've talked a lot about brick and mortar businesses, but what if you're a service business or an online business and you're not going to have the really cool before and after photos and grand opening ribbon cutting that a brick and mortar business might have? How do you promote a business like that before you're open? And more importantly, how do you make it exciting? How do you make it interesting? You make it interesting by telling the story. Share about your brand decisions, right? If you're choosing a logo, if you're updating a website, if you're working on adding services to your website, film that, share that, let people know what's coming, let people get excited with you. And you can even ask them questions and get a conversation going. Another fun thing to do if you have a brick and mortar or if you have more of an online business is to take your potential customers on a field trip with you. If you have errands to run to the paint store or to the fabric store or to the library or to, set up something new, take them with you, film little snippets of it, and then do a voiceover later. Because again, you are sharing your journey along the way. And as you're doing that, you are also promoting your business. So yes, you are sharing behind the scenes, you are building community, you are talking about all of these cool things, but you are also talking about your business and promoting your business in a way that's kind of fun and different and lets people see the journey with you. Okay. And now you're saying, but I have literally nothing interesting about my business. It's just going to be me and my laptop. I get it. It is usually me and my laptop, to be honest. So it is not especially exciting on my business. It's just me scowling at my computer. But let's talk about ways that you can promote your business. Even if you don't have anything photogenic about your business, I'm going to share some ways that you can bring people behind the scenes and educate them and entertain them and keep it interesting while you are waiting to open. So you can film some B-roll, which is just film of you doing something, right? The point is that you are bringing people behind the scenes to educate them, to entertain them, to inform them. You could even make a slide deck or a series of graphics on Canva and use those and talk about what your business is going to be, what you're going to do, why you're excited about it. Think outside of the box, especially if your business isn't necessarily photogenic. And I also want to mention something. I've said talk about behind the scenes several times. When we're talking about behind the scenes, you are in control of that. You are in control of how much gets shown, how much doesn't get shown, and what you share and what you don't share. Just because I say film behind the scenes content, I don't necessarily mean that you have to film like the worst of the worst. And say with being authentic, we talk about being authentic in marketing, and it's a thing that can get misunderstood. So when I'm talking about being authentic, it doesn't necessarily mean sharing every single detail. Sometimes we don't want to share stuff, and that's okay. We can have boundaries as business owners, and we get to decide where those are. So think about what you are comfortable sharing and what you're not comfortable sharing. Maybe for you, the idea of filming yourself folding laundry is the most horrific idea ever. Don't do that. Don't do that. If B-roll makes you really uncomfortable and it feels just too awkward and you can't possibly do it, but you're okay talking, then do it that way. You get to decide how you show up. And yes, there are some business owners who share every single detail of every high and every single detail of every low. And it's interesting to watch, right? And it's engaging, but that doesn't mean that has to be you. If that makes you feel uncomfortable, it's okay to have your boundaries and it's okay to stick to those, because over time, if you are showing up that way constantly, it can be really exhausting. And then you start to feel like you have to do it and it can just lead to problems. So as you're just starting, especially because you're just starting, like stick with your boundaries, figure out what makes you comfortable, what makes you uncomfortable, and don't go outside of those zones. In the future, you can always share more. It's just easier to share more in the future than to start sharing less of it. Okay, stepping away from boundaries and back to planning. If you're going to have a grand opening, what does that look like? What do you need to get in place to have that grand opening happen? When does it happen? If you are going to have catering or you're going to have food of some kind, how far in advance do you need to order it? This is also a really good time to reach out to press and to reach out to local people who want to come and support your business so that they know that it's happening. If you're a member of Chamber, make sure that they are aware of that. If you have a community of networking business friends that you do things with, make sure that they know about it also so that they can come support you. And make sure that you are promoting the heck out of your grand opening, because we want this to be a big deal. We want it to be really fun. We want it to be really special. Yes, you will feel like you are over promoting something like this. It's totally normal. You're not. Keep promoting it because there's so much content floating out there and people see so many notices and they see so much information that it can get really overwhelming. So if you're not sharing fairly frequently, they might miss it. Launching a business is such an exciting time and there's so much happening. It can be so overwhelming. One of my best suggestions is to keep a list of everything that you're working on somewhere, whether you're a digital person or you're more of a pen and paper person like I am. Whatever that is, keep a list of everything that you have, all of the contacts that you need to follow up with, what your calendar looks like. Because if you're planning a grand opening and you are also doing a build out and you are also trying to manage all of your social media, you're going to hit a wall really fast. So the more that you can do ahead of time, the more that you can plan out, the more that you can schedule ahead of time, you will save yourself so much frustration and so much hassle just getting that out of the way. As I wrap up, I want to share a couple of technical things that can be really helpful when you're launching a new business. Number one, make sure that you get a Google business profile. It's free. It is fairly easy to set up. The website looks like it was made in the 90s for some reason. It's kind of clunky looking, but it gets the job done. And it's really going to help you with local search, which if you have a local business, you definitely want to do that. And then remember to go beyond just setting it up because Google wants us to update that at least once a week. So make a plan as you're scheduling out your social media to also post on your Google business profile, it really does make a difference. Make sure that you're claiming directory listings like Yelp, although I never suggest ever giving Yelp money, but definitely claim any of your free directory listings that are similar to that because they will help your business get found. It takes time. It's boring. It's not terribly exciting, but it is an important piece of setting up your business. But what if you're not a local business? Then you can look at other directories that might be beneficial for you to be listed in. For example, if you sell a product, does that manufacturer have a list somewhere of businesses that sell those products? Or is there a specialty niche kind of directory that lists your services? Sign up for those directories because those directories may be more likely to come up in search than your specific business, and people can find you that way. I also know that this time is really exciting. Everything is happening so fast. It can be really easy to get overwhelmed. So I really do want you to take time to try to enjoy the launch because it's an exciting thing that you're doing and you should be proud of yourself. Don't forget to take time off and rest too, because that is just as important as getting your business out into the world. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions, send them to gwen@gwenmontoya.com. That's all I have for today. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer them for you.